The Rip, a Netflix crime thriller starring Matt Damon and Ben Affleck and directed by Joe Carnahan, is now streaming and drawing a wide range of critical responses from major reviewers and aggregation sites. Rotten Tomatoes Snapshot. On the review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes, The Rip holds a strong approval rating in the low to mid-80s on the tomato meter, based on dozens of critic reviews. This places it above many recent Netflix original action titles in the same genre. Critics' early consensus highlights several strengths. 1. The established on-screen chemistry between Damon and Affleck, longtime collaborators with a career that began with Good Will Hunting. 2. Tense genre mechanics rooted in paranoia and moral ambiguity as Miami narcotics officers confront temptation, trust issues, and looming threats. 3. A solid ensemble that includes performances by Steven Yeun, Teyana Taylor, and others. Critical themes and divergences. Across reviews, The Rip generated mixed but generally positive feedback centered on a few recurring themes. 1. Genre execution versus originality. Many critics note that the movie doesn't reinvent the police thriller wheel. Its structure and style often evoke familiar crime drama tropes, from betrayals amid a stash house siege to dialogues heavy with jargon. However, reviewers frequently concede that The Rip executes these elements with enough energy and craft to remain compelling. 2. Performances and chemistry. The central pairing of Damon and Affleck draws consistent praise. Their long friendship infuses the narrative with a lived-in dynamic that lifts standard genre beats, making their exchanges one of the film's most entertaining dimensions. 3. Technical and stylistic note. Some reviewers point out stylistic choices, especially the film's shadowy cinematography and emphasis on claustrophobic settings, that can muddle certain visual sequences, while others see this as an intentional mood enhancer. Broader aggregate indicat. Beyond Rotten Tomatoes. Metacritic, another aggregator, suggests The Rip earns generally favorable reviews, with a metascore indicating that critics lean positively but are not unanimous. Audience reactions vary widely in online forums, with some viewers celebrating the chemistry and tension while others critique pacing or dialogue choices, underscoring that broader public reception may diverge as more viewers weigh in context within streaming origin. In comparison to other Netflix original action films, The Rip's current Rotten Tomatoes score situates it above several genre entries from recent years, though not necessarily at the very top. This performance suggests that while The Rip is not universally hailed as a breakout classic, it is relatively well received for an original streaming thriller, especially one released during the often quieter January wind. In sum, The Rip emerges as a solidly reviewed, action-driven crime thriller that balances familiar genre elements with strong performances and interpersonal dynamics. Critics generally appreciate the leads and the tension of the central plot, even when they note that the film doesn't dramatically innovate beyond established tropes. Early numbers point to positive critical reception on Rotten Tomatoes, and broader aggregation shows a mix of favorable to moderate reviews, marking the film as a respectable entry in the streaming action space rather than a consensus masterpiece.